we are giving some input voltage here. Okay, here there is no current. Here 0 current. Here we say that, for example, 4 amps. I give some supply voltage here. So the path is like this. Here the signal is going here. So by this way. So that is, this voltage is passing through like this. And here. Now here stuck here. Because it is not go here. Because already here there is no input signal to the base. Because what is the condition for the amplifier? If the base current, if we give a base current, we get the output. If the base is 0, there is no output. So here there is no base. Here there is no base current. So that is, we didn't get the output here. Suppose here we put a 0. Here we have 4 amps. Here this 4 amps go here. And this VCC is not able to pass here because it is there is no base current flow here. That means for the transistor T2 there is no bias voltage, so here also 0. So AND gate is a easy to understand this logic circuit. Imagine it is a gas stove. It is a cylinder. Here we have a regulator. So it is a T1. It is T2. Assume that. The T2, T1. So VCC, it is a VCC. We have a gas here. So it is a plus VCC. So now you open the regulator, the gas will flow here. But T2 is not open because even though we have a lighter, we didn't T2 is open, is closed. So the gas is not flame. Suppose the regulator is closed, but we on this stove switch. Now it is not possible. Both the regulator and as well as the gas stove we on, we get the flame. So whenever you go to the kitchen, you see the cylinder and gas stove, it is an AND gate. So cylinder is one transistor and the stove knob is another transistor. Okay. So in general in the exam, they use this circuit and use some voltage value. A 5 voltage, 0 voltage, or 0, 5, 5, 5. So by this way they use that. So we can answer the question. Okay, definitely they ask the question like this. So logic or so here we are using the word either A or B is true. So this is the two input transistor OR gate. So we can able to draw this. This is also the simplest form of this two input transistor OR gate. So in general, OR gate is a parallel combinations we call as an OR gate. The series it is called as a AND gate. So OR gate. So we have an AND gate, not gate. If A is a not true, then Q is true. That we have a familiar with these. Yes, we go to that. Okay, now, so we have a universal gate. They ask the question. What are the universal gates? So in general, we have a NAND gate and NOR gate is a universal gate. NAND gate and NOR gate. NAND gate and NOR gate. We call as a universal gate. They ask the question. What are the universal gates? Like this, they ask the question. So two transistor, logic circuit for that transistor, NAND gate. So we call it a NOR gate. So exclusive of, so just read this value. This is the, because the exclusive of gate we are used for the adder. We have the next slide, we have this. So exclusive or which is used for the adder circuit without carry. Yes. So by using that, we have different gates are the AND gate, basic gates AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. By using the NAND gate, we can able to draw all the logic gates. So that's why we are using that NAND gate as a logic, as a universal gate. So just to go through this circuit, just to go to these symbols, how they convert the, by how they draw the AND gate by using that logic NAND gate by this way, because there is a chances for giving the asking the question like this. Suppose they give the question like this. So which is used for AND gate. So option A, they give this diagram. Option B, they give this diagram. Option C, this diagram. Option D, this diagram. So we can able to see AND gate. So we use this. Even though if we forget this diagram, we can able to use that A. We get a, we are using this input. We can able to find the answer. So easy to answer that in the short time. Just remember this diagram. So this is for the NAND gate and this is for the NOR gate. So see, in general, we have addition 3. So we have a 5. Suppose 2, 9. So we have a 11. So this one, so we are using the 1 digit. So the second digit, that is we have the answer is a 2-digit answer. So the second we have it is a LSB, least significant bit, and it is a most significant bit. So the most significant bit we call as a carry. So that's why we say that some carry. For the half adder, just see, it is a truth table for XOR gate. So for the binary adder, the exclusive OR is used for the sum, and for the carry, see here 001. So it is the truth table for the AND gate. So in the binary adder or in the half adder, sum is a exclusive OR. For carry, we are using the AND gate. It is for the full adder, just because for the digital logic circuits. So instead of going to the slides, based on the questions, we can be able to predict that how they expected the questions in the exams. So instead of going to the slides, it's now easy to visualize the exam. So it is a equation for the full adder circuit. Just remember these equations. See here, A dot 0. Here we have A, here we have a 0. It is AND gate. if what is the output for the AND gate? All the inputs are positive. All the inputs are logically 1. Then only it gives the logic 1 output. Here A dot 0. So it is a logically. So here we have one of the input is 0. So in general, so always the value is 0. So that we say that we say that A dot 0 is equal to 0, A plus 1 which is equal to 1. For OR gate, if any input is true, the output is a true. So that's why. So just we remember this one. So based on the things we can able to answer the questions. Here A plus A is equal to A. We take AND gate. Here we have 2 input AND gate. Now both the inputs are we give the same value. Either the A is either 0 or 1. If the 2 inputs are 0, the output is 0. If the 2 inputs are 1, the output is 1. So that's why we say that A plus A, A dot A which is equal to A. So this is we can be able to say is a buffer circuit. So the digital buffer, if you give the A, the output is 0. If you give the 1, the output is 1. So this one A plus A is equal to A dot. This circuit we call as a buffer circuit. So another important one is the De Morgan theorem. Just remember this theorem because sometimes we need to simplify the given equation. So at that time, this De Morgan theorem, which is helps to reduce the equations. A plus B, the whole bar which is equal to A bar dot B bar, and A plus B, the whole bar which is equal to A bar plus B bar. Here addition, here multiplication, here multiplication, here addition. That's all. Simple thing. Okay, now see the question. Simplify. Q is equal to A plus B dot A plus C. What is the answer? Just see the slide. And here I use some explanation. So that's why I say that the simplify the equations, definitely they ask that exam. So for that, we need to remember the truth table for all the logic gates and this law. There is no need to by heart this law because if you are familiar with the truth table, there is no need to by heart this law. And we have a sufficient time in the exam hall, so it is possible to write that equations and solve this. So this is the question. So first we draw the.
Can you please go back to the previous question if you don't mind?
Yes.
Can you explain the change from fourth to fifth step? Yeah.
First step, we multiply all the equations. AA, AC, BA, BC.
Okay, that's
okay. AA, we can write A. So A plus AC plus AB plus BC. Now
okay.
here, so now
A
I
into 1 plus
take
C.
here A, I take A common. So 1 plus C. So just see 1 plus C. That is, here using OR gate. Here I do the 1 input, here C. The C may be a 0 or 1. Here they are using the OR gate. What is the truth table for the OR gate? Any input, if the 1, the output is 1. So irrespective of the value C. So that's why I say that 1 plus 1, we get that answer 1. So we can be able to say A as it is, the 1 plus 1 becomes 1.
Okay. Okay, fine.
So by using this one, so it is 1 plus C is a OR gate like this, 1 C. It's a OR gate, so any input, either A or B is a 1, the output is a true. So here is a constant value. So 1 plus C always gives 1.
Okay.
Here A, B. So standing gate, so value is A, B. It is a OR gate. So here it is a B, here C. B, C, so it is a BC. B plus C, not BC, B plus C. Yes, it is a OR gate. It is AND gate, so it is C, it is B. The answer is CB. So that's why here we write the thing. Next, it is AND gate. So the output of the AND gate is B plus C and BC. So here we write that. So here we have a OR gate. So OR gate A plus AB plus this value. This value. So now we get this equation. Now we simplify this equation and we get the answer. So definitely this type of questions they may ask. Here AB, I multiplied BC into B, so BBC plus BCC. So already we have identity, A becomes A. So that's why the 2B becomes 1B, 2C becomes 1C. So we have identity A plus A is equal to A. So here it is A, it is A. So we have only one number. We take a B as a common, so A plus C. So it is the final answer. So this is a given circuit. So we simplify B plus B into A plus C. This is the circuit for the output, entire output. Simplified network. It is a simplified network. For a simplified network, we draw the circuit. So here, compare this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we are using 5 gates. In the simplified network, we are using only 3 gates. Assume that if we are using 5 gates, each gate having a delay time for 1 nanosecond, the entire 5 circuits delay gives 5 nanoseconds. If we simplify the circuit, we can reduce the 2 nanoseconds. So that's why we go for the simplification. Let's see, it's another circuit. This is the actual . So imagine that A, B, these all as a relay in the electrical system. In the electrical system, this is the electrical system. This electrical system is converted to the logic circuit. So the logic circuit I draw like this. You can be able to draw this circuit, this electrical diagram into like this. Then we simplify this equation. So here we have A, here B, we have a parallel, so A plus C. So these combinations become B into A plus C. These combinations become to AC. Because, so easy to understand something, here high current flow. The both A and C will open. The both simple, easy to understand like this. Here we have a switches, different switches also. So our objective is to glow the lamp. And what conditions this lamp will glow. So in the system we have the different combinations of the different combinations we draw like this. So then we give to the system engineer, they make a truth table and we get the final answer like this. So easy to understand, just draw the circuit in terms of either all the components as a switch. So it is a series combination. So that's why I put A into C. Here we have a parallel combination. So I put A plus C. Because we need the if the current, high current will flow, both the switches will close. Then only we get the current here. So remember, both the switches be closed. That is both bit and the gate. Here we have either A or C is closed, we get the output here. Either B and either A or C. So we can able to get that correct here. So that's why we are putting AND gate. This and here we are all. That's why we put A plus C and here AND. So we put here AND. Then it says we are able to using that rule, we can able to get the answer. So by this way, there is a chance for asking the questions. So here we have different systems are there. As I said, there is a chance for asking the questions. That is, convert decimal to binary, binary to decimal like this. So before going to that, we have a different number systems. We have binary number system, octal number system. For binary 0 to 1, octal 0 to 7. Decimal number, total we have 10 numbers, 0 through 9. For hexadecimal, 0 to 9. And 10 we write as A, 11 B, 12 as C, and 13 as D, 14 as E, and 15 as F. So convert how we convert the decimal number to decimal binary number. For example, suppose so here I give the biggest number. So easy to understand. For example, say 7. We convert the 7. We take a 15. 15 is a decimal number. We convert the decimal number into binary number. So all the 15 so 7 2s are 14. So 7, remainder is 1. Once again 2. So 3 2s are 6. So remainder 1. 3. So 1 2s are 1. So remainder 1. So this is the answer. And another important question. We start from arrow here to here. This value is most significant bit. And this is a least significant bit. The answer is 1 1 1 1 base 2. So binary to decimal number to binary number. Okay. Now 15 is a decimal number. Convert this number into octal number. So once again, write the decimal number, and here we need the octal. So put in 8. 1 8s are 8. Remainder is 7. So 1 is the octal. We have a number 0 to 7. So this is the answer. It is the most significant bit. This is least significant bit. So from 15 base 10, which is equal to 41 base 2 or 17 base 8 or 15. 15 is the hexadecimal number because 0 to 15 up to 15 we have a hexadecimal. After 15, 16 is not a hex. So that's why the 15 is here. We write F. So 15 base 10, which is equal to how we convert the decimal number to different systems. Now, how we convert the binary number to decimal number? Binary number 1, 1, 1, 1 is a base 2. Each number below you put a 2 because we are converting binary number to decimal number. So we put a binary 2. Put here, this is the least significant bit and it is the most significant bit. We start from the least significant with 0, 1, 2, 3. So 2 power 0, 2 power 0, anything power 0 is 1.
1,
2 power 1, 2. 2 square, 4. 2 cube, 8. So add this number, 8 plus 4, 12, 14, 15. So now we convert the binary number to decimal number. 1, 7, base 8. It's an octal number. Convert the octal number to decimal number. Once again, simple. Once again, right here. It is an octal number. So put 8, 8. It is the least significant bit. It is the most significant bit. We start from the least significant bit. 0, 1. Anything power 0, 1. 8 to the power of 1 gives 8. Sorry. Okay. Anything power 0 is 1. 8 to the power of 1 is 8. Now here 1 into, you multiply this number into this number, 7. Similarly here 8 into 1. So here we have a 7. Here we have here 8. So add 15. And I forgot to remember that 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Here 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3. Here we have 1, 2, 4, 8. Now then you multiply these numbers. Here all we have 1. So that is we have, it will confuse. 1 into 1, 1. 2 into 1, 2. 4 into 1, 4. 8 into 1, 8. So that's when we get the 15. Suppose here it is a value of 0 means 2 into 0, 0. So we have here 8 plus 4, 12 plus 1, 13. So similarly, for example, say 255. So hope you are familiar. Yes, this F in the microprocessor, we see this number computer. So F, we convert this F, it is a hexadecimal number. We convert the hexadecimal number into binary number. It is a 15. It is a 15. And here you put 16 power 0. 16 power 1. 16 power 1. 16 power 1. Sorry. 1, 3. So answer is here 16 when is power 0, 1. Here 16. 16 square 2, 156. 16 cube, I think 1024. I don't know, 1024 or 65,000 something. So 1 into 15 plus 16 into 15 plus 256 plus 15 plus 1024 into 15. Use the binary number for F. So this is the how to convert binary number decimal to binary octal hexadecimal. Similarly, how to convert hexaoctal binary to. So now another important thing. For example, say we have the binary number. Convert this binary number into octal number. So either one method is we convert the binary into decimal and then convert the decimal into octal. This is the one method. Or you group these numbers. For octal, we group 3, 3. From the least significant bit, group 3 numbers. Next we have 3 numbers. Next we have only 2 numbers and put 0 here. So 101, 111 is a 7. 101 is a 5. It is 1. 175 is an octal number. Because so similarly, for hexadecimal, we group 4 numbers. 4 numbers. For binary to hexadecimal, we group 4 numbers. And 4 numbers you. So each and every one conversion, I use one sample problem in the question, one booklet, question answer booklet. And apart from this, and this is here we have a 1 because a bit and 4. It is also they asked in the question exam, UPD exam, because I see this question in the group. 4 by a bit we call as a nipple. So you are familiar with that byte, word, double byte, this value, but we didn't familiar with the nipple. So 4 by binary 4 bit, which is equal to nipple. And here we have the highest term, kilo, mega, giga, and tetra, 2 to the power of 40. 2 to the power 30 is a gigabyte, 2 to the power 20 is a megabyte, 2 to the power 10 is a kilobyte. So in general, if a 3 input, we have a general formula for not only NAND gate, in general gates. If we have a 3 input, we need 2 power of n inputs. And apart from this, well, we have in the digital logic circuits. So in the question bank, I use some questions related to the flip-flop. In the flip-flop, they ask the truth table for SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, toggle and D flip-flop. So we have some truth tables. So based on from the truth table, they ask the question like this. In the SR flip-flop, irrespective of that either NOR, NAND is not in use. In the SR flip-flop, which condition is not allowed? 0, 0, this condition is not allowed. This depends from this value from the truth table only. So before going to the exam, just go to the truth table. Just one or two times, just see the truth table. They can able to get that. Because these type of questions are the least possible questions the exam. But anyhow, we must go through the truth table. So in the logic, rest of the entire thing. So in the question bank, I will prepare truth tables. In the digital logic circuits, I will give notes for different flip-flops. And in the microprocessor, they ask about that address bus, data bus, definition for the address bus, data bus. And address bus is a bidirectional, data bus unidirectional, and different in the block diagram we have different registers are there. Accumulator, we have different questions. That is at the whole what I communicate convey to you means in the microprocessor based on that block diagram and concept, we can be able to get the 20 to 25 questions. So frequently asked questions under microprocessor. So if you have, because I have some slides, the slides gives all the concepts related to the microprocessor. So there is no need to go, there is no descriptive questions in that exam. So just go to the entire concepts, we can able to attend the questions. So in the exam point of view, we must remember that address bus, data bus, accumulator, different registers, flag. So these are concepts. I use some questions. How they ask the questions under the flag, under the registers. And in the electrical portion, and apart from this, I have latest technologies in the both electrical and electronics. In general, we say that embedded systems. So I go the EC engineers, they are familiar with the words VLSI, ASIC, VLSI, very large scale integrated circuit, ASIC, ASIC. So they have some latest technologies are there. So just they need the description and the abbreviations and little bit concepts in the systems. So we can't be able to predict what questions from that very large scale integrated circuit like this. Because in my exam also, they asked one embedded question because I didn't, I saw the question because I write in the note, I saw the question. And in the electrical, So in the measurement, we have a few questions in the measurement, especially in the measurements. The measurements, repeatedly they ask the questions, the different deflection torque, and there are 3 to 4 general questions. In general, they ask the questions in the competitive exam. The deflection torque, I think I already shared this question. Sorry. So in the measurement in general, we are using the bridges. So in the bridges, we have a under balanced condition, the galvanometer reads 0 voltage. Under balanced condition, the galvanometer reads 0. So here we have assume that we have a electric circuit like this. So we have a, so simply we can be able to imagine, I hope you can be able to imagine that these combinations is like a bridge. If I put a galvanometer here, these combinations may be its combination is a bridge circuit. So here we are applying 8 voltage. This 4 ohm, first consider this, there is no galvanometer here. Okay, here there is, imagine that initially there is no galvanometer. That means the voltage across this combination is 8 volt because it is a parallel circuit. So here 4 plus 4 is a series, 4 ohm and 4 ohm connected in series. So total resistance is 8 ohm. Here total voltage is 8. So 8 by 8 is 1 amp. 1 amp. So the voltage across this resistance is 4 volt and voltage across this volt is 4 volt. And similarly here also we have here 4 ohm, 4 ohm. Okay. So this combination is also connected across this battery. So it is also the voltage across this combination is 8 volt. So here we have 1 amp. So here also we have a 4 volt, 4 volt. Now you take the voltmeter here. You take the voltmeter here. You put the one terminal here and one terminal the negative. That is ground. So we measure 4 volt because voltage across this resistance gives 4 voltage. Similarly, if you go to here also it measures 4 voltage. Now use the voltmeter and measure the voltage across this value. Here we have a 4 voltage. Here we have a 4 voltage. If you measure the voltage across, it is a 0 voltage. There is no voltage here. So now you insert one galvanometer here. So all we are introducing one resistance here. There is what is the current flow? The resistance is 0 because there is no voltage across this resistance because here we have a plus 4 voltage, here it is a minus voltage. If you go to the calculation, we get a minus voltage. So plus 4 voltage, here minus 4 voltage. So net voltage across this resistance is 0. If the voltage across the resistance is 0, there is no current flow, it is a 0. So the galvanometer reads 0 voltage. Now you come to the measurement topic. So in general, if the balanced circuit, the galvanometer reads only 0. Definitely, this type of questions are in the UPSC exam and any competitive exams. I share the question, how they ask the question in the exams. So similarly, we have some other questions related to the measurements. So in the next class, we are discussing about management PMP topics. Next 2 classes, we have a PMP class topics. So meanwhile, I will send that question answer bank to our WhatsApp as well as in the through mail also. And I will start this PowerPoint, that is